truck with ceramic pro on it for 5 years. Frank Nixon, welcome to the show.
Excellent. Good to be here.
Tell everybody how you know me.
I know you from previous experience of working offshore in the seismic industry in the Gulf of Mexico. Source vessel, if I remember right. I don't think you worked on any of the node handling.
No, it was a gunboat.
Yeah.
So I just knew how to pop things. That's all. Well, I just knew how to record all the pops. I didn't have to go work on that shit.
No, we let the other guys handle that gun deck.
Yeah. Oh, Tubby buddy. Oh, I miss him. Oh, Terrell. That's who it was. Yeah.
Yeah, those guys, it's all a good crew. Everybody worked pretty well with each other. Had some jobs out there in the Gulf of Mexico, and then our excursion over to Gabon.
Well, not just Gabon. I think, were you out there when we went to Norway? I think you joined us when we were in Norway, right?
Well, I was on the node handling vessel, and
then our previous boss went somewhere else. Or didn't y'all swap?
Yep.
Okay, that's what it was, yeah.
Because we go out, deploy all the gear, and then it would be too rough for us. We'd run in, and Captain Dale would be flipping us off, saying, sure, drop all your stuff, and y'all run into port and go to the bars, and we're out here working.
And we're out here for another fucking 3 days. Hey, did you forget, though, while they were out there dropping that shit, we were at, what was that place called?
Bergen?
Well, no, not in Bergen. It was Pepe's. Everybody had to go to Pepe's, the pizza place. Yeah. Yeah, those were some good days right there. I think, as I was telling you earlier, I think that was the best camaraderie when it came to a working family on a boat. Even though we had all kinds of little things with any business or with any company, you got little things that pop up and happen, and of course your personality conflicts and things like that all happens. But I think we had a smooth crew. I think maybe, and that's a bias on just my 3 years with the people that I was with.
Oh yeah.
But I just thought it was just kind of like harmony in a way.
Well, it's kind of like any family. You get any one family under a roof for so long, you're going to get along at first. Then there's going to be little things that irritate you. You're going to get in arguments, or I shouldn't say arguments, disagreements.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next day, everything's back to being nice and lovely and all that.
Oh, yeah. You stomp on all the flowers one day, and then the next day they kind of come back up. Hey. I mean, overall, it was good. I do miss those days. I just don't miss the BS that I went through. But hey,
Well, there's some upper level things that take place off the vessel that beyond our control that we had to deal with and make do.
Yeah. And you're still with them, though, right?
Yes.
And you had a hiatus for a little while and then went back.
Brief period. Yep. Yeah. Worked for AT&T as a field tech for a little while. All around Southeast Louisiana. Got to see a lot more of it, even though I've been down here since 1991. You got me to be laid off and go see a hell of a lot more of Southeast Louisiana, the rural areas and all that.
And it's kind of crazy because you live around there. You're in Hobo, so it's like it reminds me of I'm prior Navy, so everybody's like, "Oh, you saw the world." I didn't see the world till I went offshore. I did not leave Pax River, Maryland until what was it, 2005, when I went to Trinidad and Tobago for the first time.
Yeah,
we delivered a rig. Well, it was a floater, and a ship towed us all the way from Brownsville to Trinidad and Tobago, and I washed dishes. That was my introduction to the oil field. I couldn't get in any other way. Nobody. I had military qualifications that were still good. That was electronic technician. Everything.
Yeah.
Everything was still good. Nobody wanted to hire me, so I was like, okay. So I went back into grocery for a while, and then I realized I couldn't make more than $30,000 a year. I was like, this is a bust. So even opened a business in 2005. Grocery shopper and delivery business, Frank.
Damn it.
Think of where I could be if I would have been wealthy. I could be a Jeff Bezos sitting around, not knowing what it's like to be poor anymore. And I mean, so I did that, and that kind of failed because then I kept going offshore. So I couldn't keep people dedicated to it. And I mean, yeah, wash dishes and then worked at National Oil of Arco 8 months later when I figured out, shit, what do you guys do? Because their coveralls were clean every day.
Right.
I was like, wait a minute. You left this morning. Well, at first I was like, you guys change your coveralls so much. I was like, man, how many coveralls do y'all got to bring out here? I was like, I know my suitcase is heavy. And they're like, no, it's the same stuff we wore yesterday. Wait, what? Huh? Wait a minute. So you telling me you worked yesterday morning till yesterday night, last night. Did you wash them last night? We don't have to. Whoa. Then you worked all day today. What do you do?
What's your job description?
We program all that stuff on the rig floor. Wait, that stuff is programmed? That's just not just gears? Oh, yeah, no. That's more wires than there are, mechanical stuff in there. I was like, is that done with a laptop? Yeah. Hey, y'all hiring? Because I'm a beast with a laptop. So yeah, that was my first stunt. So yeah. So we worked together for a while. We'll go back to that. That's got to be some fun stuff to talk about there. But now you're a client.
Yes.
What made you come to me to touch that truck of yours?
Well, when we worked together on the source vessel, you were talking about getting this your detailing shop up and running, or you already had it running. And I said, the first thing that drives me crazy is streaks. That they just drive me nuts, especially on glass. And you were telling me about the formulation that you use and what you use. And oh, that worked out pretty fine. Fine and dandy. I was happy with that. But trying to do my own detailing, trying to get those swirls of cobwebbing out, damage from auto washes, which I now know is very bad for your vehicle if you love your vehicle.
Hey, do you still go through those, Frank? Hey, does Bonnie go through them?
Nope. Oh. We even told the dealership that when we bring our vehicle in to get serviced, they usually run it through the car wash.
Yeah.
They put a big no wash on the dashboard.
Now, did she believe that before?
No.
I think you were just like, she's not going to go for this.
She would not. She didn't think it was going to be worth it. But the proof is in the product. When you see it, it all depends on preparation, decontamination, also the stuff like you had mentioned that goes with the preparation of the install.
Yeah, that's all it is.
If you don't have a good foundation, like anything, construction or a recipe or anything, if you don't have a good base, you're not going to have a good product, which this product definitely delivers.
Yeah. And as I said, we're going on year 5 here. I mean, yours is the second truck with Ceramic Pro. I had just started doing Ceramic Pro. I was OptiCoat man. One and done, baby. But it wasn't as strong. It wasn't as hard. It wasn't as scratch resistant. It was just really good, for the amount of money people were spending. I mean, they'd spend $1,000 to get the truck done, and done. That's corrected everything, and people were happy with it. And then I'd see the vehicles later on, and be like, oh. And then I had the Ceramic Pro, and then I had the Ceramic Pro on the truck that I had Braden driving. I don't know if you remember Braden. Was he around?
Yeah.
So he was driving
big Ford.
No, it was a Silverado. Oh. So because I bought it in 2016 when I had him living with me, I was like, okay, you're gonna need your own vehicle because you're not using mine. And I had 2 at the time. I was like, you're not using either one of them. Here's your own truck. Go do whatever you want. I know what kids do because he was young. So we put Ceramic Pro. We tested that on that truck, and I just kept noticing every time he'd clean it that it was outperforming. And then we'd do some heavy wiping with dirty towels and things like that just to try to emulate stuff, and we noticed that it was stronger. And then we also did some tests in the shop. I don't know if you remember, that's the #1 video on the channel is the scratch test, OptiCoat versus Ceramic Pro. That video has 31,000 views.
Wow.
And that's people looking at it worldwide. It just organically does it. Every day, there's like 100 people that see that video. They go look at it. And this is like from 2015, 2016, when I first started the channel. And so I noticed that it was harder. It could take more abuse. I was like, okay, I'm worried about longevity. I didn't like the fact that you had to do the annual inspection because then that just made it the most expensive freaking coating. But then I thought about it. If you have the chemicals and if you have the right chemicals to maintain it, and you don't go to the car washers anymore, and you do save time cleaning it, and you aren't going to AutoZone just buying all these crazy new products all the time, it's actually not that expensive. pays for itself in the long run.
Oh yeah.
And especially if it's registered to Carfax. That's how I feel.
Yes, as I called and asked you about again, I was thinking of possibly selling my truck. I'm like, man, I don't really want to do it. Looking at it as an option.
Mm-hmm.
You reminded me that it is on the Carfax, which is a great value to the vehicle.
Yep. And it'll show. It'll when you pull it, it'll show Ceramic Pro certified installation on this date. And it tells, and I think now it should tell people that they've got to go to your nearest Ceramic Pro installer to have it looked at. I think it says it in the notes because most people, they're like, oh, I don't know what that is. Oh, that's great. I got a ceramic coating on it. Well, you got to realize, that SiO2 is going to wear off. It's a 2-part system. If
Right.
that's gone, then you start scrubbing on the 9H, which, you can start scratching the 9H. I mean, looking at yours, that's why you're here, because we did yours yesterday. The only thing I see with yours is I see a couple little hazy spots. I don't know what that is. I got some pictures of it though, and I'm going to be asking him. I don't know. Is it wearing off? I have no idea.
Is that on the back cover?
No. One's on the back driver door, and then you got another one on the passenger door. It's just like a little ghost spot.
Right.
I said, well, if it's there next year, I'm going to delete it because yours didn't need to be deleted. I didn't need to delete it. I did one spot and there was just really no difference. I was like, well, not deleting it. Did you delete it? I think you did one time, didn't you?
That was up on the driver's front fender hood.
Mm-hmm.
There was some hard spots after it sat for, that was 8 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Sat outside.
Yeah. They came out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, the delete is harsh. You got to be careful with that stuff.
I remember very explicit instructions. Do not put any force on it. Just,
Well, don't do it on a hot surface is the most important thing.
Well, that I've also learned
the hard way.
Make sure that keep it in the shade.
Yep.
Usually now what I've been doing is bringing my truck in because the wife's car stays in the garage all the time. Mine's like that bad dog that stays outside most of the time.
Uh-huh.
So mine gets exposed to the elements quite a bit more. So I got to bring it in, make sure it's all cool to the touch before I do anything with it.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, and then when you clean it though, what's it like?
Very easy. Depending the first time that I come in, it may take a little work because it's been sitting there, like I said, 5 to 6 weeks, sometimes 8 weeks. So I may be outside with the hose and I'll hit it, wipe it down with a microfiber towel, get it inside. Man, just use that no rinse wash in the spray bottle. Spray it all down. Start wiping it off, run a dry towel over it. Just comes out nice and shiny.
Good to go. And I mean, sitting out there, Trace, I don't even know if you noticed his truck when I picked you up. Did it just look brighter than typical vehicles? I don't even know if you pay attention to that stuff, though.
It looks brand new.
I mean, and that's a 14.
Yeah. I just saw the other day, I went to Outback curbside pickup. Kid comes out, he's like, oh, this is like a 19 or 18. I said, no, this is a 14.
Yeah.
Well, the words he said, I'll leave that alone, but he was pretty well surprised. He says, no way. This is a 14? I said, yeah, it's got a ceramic coating on it. Wow, he was pretty impressed.
Yeah.
And he asked about it. I'm like, well, may not be the choice for you at this point in time, but
You might want to get the quick ceramic coating, the one that David's going to be doing from now on. Outback may not be able to afford for you to output $2,000 in one pop. So
no, but it is worth the initial investment to me.
Yeah.
We've seen such a good performance on it. Not only the compliments, but I like the ease of cleaning.
Mm-hmm.
Coming back, we come back and forth between Houma and Lafayette quite a bit. Get home, well, of course, you've got bugs all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Love bug season.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody loves that if you're a highway driver.
Mm.
And as you're well aware, my grill is not the most friendly.
And every time I got to bring that thing down, I freaking forget to. Your sensors are plugged in, Frank.
Well, not the brush guard so much, but then that little honeycomb grill.
Oh God, that thing's horrible.
That's a pain in the ass trying to get in there and get each one. And
Brushes, you got to use these delicate little brushes, and now they got a new one. And I got to order one, but it's a black brush. It almost looks like, and David said, "Oh, that's like my wife's makeup brush." That's what it looks like. It looks like a makeup brush because it fans out a little bit, so it'll just allow you to kind of scrub a little bit in there. They take a little bit more abuse than the There's some light ones. They're about this long, but like you get like 4 uses and you throw it away, and that's $10. You just got to throw away after you use it 4 times. It's like, ouch, oh, that hurts.
Getting in there with a rag, sometimes, it just gets real tedious.
Mm-hmm.
So I use a little like 1,000 PSI pressure washer and get the bulk off, and then I can get the rest of it off real easy.
Pop them suckers off with no problems. And you don't end up with all them crazy stains and stuff, all that acid eating it up. Now the coating's taking the abuse, but I mean, so far going on year 5, if the only 2 things that I don't like on your truck are the 2 little ghost spots, hell, it's doing fucking great.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
and it looks so well. And I was so pleased with how easy it is to wipe down even after 3 or 4 days. I just bring it in with that no rinse wash in the spray bottle, wipe my truck down, go across the top of that with some Hyper Seal. Even leaving it outside for about a week, I can go somewhere and everybody's like, wow, that thing's got some shine to it. Look at that gloss. And it makes me crazy because the first thing you want to do is
touch it.
How smooth is that? I'm like, very smooth.
Frank's like, you stupid.
Oh no! I don't know if you noticed on my door, I got a couple of rags, microfiber.
Yeah, I did see him. I did see him there. I did. I was like, well, look how you open the doors in mine, and they're in both my doors as well. I mean, yeah, I mean that's the thing about it. Some people don't really see, but then of course they want the bargain too. They want to get the $500 deal, and they get a little upset, when it doesn't work a year later. It's like, well, I don't really know what to tell you. I think I'd rather just pay the $275 every year to make sure that the top part of the system is still on there while the 4 layers of hardness are still doing its job.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You don't have any swirling on your truck. I mean, it's a 14, and I'll tell you, even the 2020s and the 2019s that come in, they're swirled up. They look like trash. The 15 that came in, the black one, you saw the pictures of it.
Oh, yeah.
You see everything that I post. And yeah, and he's the one that always comments, y'all. So, I mean, he's telling you the truth. But your truck was like that when I first got it, I think I even had a picture of a side by side. It looked like a hazy gold versus a good clear, mirror finish. If I could remember, I don't even know if those photos are archived on a hard drive somewhere. But now yours doesn't have that weird, like I said, except for those 2 spots.
Yeah.
But, I mean, and for a gold color, most people say gold does not. It's just a blah color. No, not yours, and not Mr. Trahan's, because Mr. Trahan's got a Traverse that's gold, but that doggone thing blinds people. I mean,
my wife's convinced that it's brown. I said, it's not brown. It's metallic bronze. You're making that up. Metallic bronze.
You got to bring out the VIN number and be like, look, doggone it. Shit. Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, and you made it. So doing yours made her a believer. How long did it take her to realize what you had bought?
When we bought that truck, we stayed 1 vehicle family for a while. Then we decided it was best for me to take my vehicle to work instead of her taking me to wherever I was working, dropping me off, coming back. Decided to get her a vehicle. Got a 2016 Acadia. 2 weeks after we had it at your shop.
Yeah, but what's funny is because she wasn't believing in it. And then, but what I mean is, how long did it take her after you had yours coated for her to be convinced that, oh, this shit is actually not what I thought it was going to be, or is something worthwhile having? Did it take a year or?
No, I would say after the first or second road trip that we took out of town, 2 or 3 hours, whatever, and then back in. And the next morning I was washing the vehicle inside the garage. I said, let me show you something. I said, see all these bugs and all this little road grime? Yeah. Okay, do that. Dried.
She was like, are you David Copperfield?
So I had one of the lights on the side, well, it's not like the ones that you have, but something similar.
Yeah.
And I said, you can just see it clear as day. There's no swirls. There's no cobwebbing. I had my old Envoy XL. I thought I was doing really good with that, or very well with that, I should say. But you spoiled me, because now I see all these vehicles in those parking lots. I'm like, damn, that dude's got a brand new $80,000 truck. Look at the swirls in that thing.
Yeah, yeah. And most people, and some people just don't know either. They just don't see it. I mean,
Bonnie had seen that. She's just like, we get my vehicle, we're gonna get that done. Because we plan on keeping our vehicles long term.
Yeah.
If it was just a lease vehicle or something like that, might have went with a lesser package, saved a little bit of money, but in the long run, it's definitely worth it for me.
Yeah. Well, I think though, I don't really do the lesser packages anymore because it actually costs more now, because I can't afford to eat the labor of correction work with a silver package. So guess what? I charge people for that. And you end up paying more than a gold package.
So you might as well
just get the gold package.
Go for the gold.
I can deal with, because no matter what, for a silver package, I'm gonna, whatever I open, I'm using the rest of. I'm not like most people. Oh, I got a half a bottle left, I'm just gonna save it for the next vehicle. No, you've exposed it to air, so it's gonna start breaking down. And if you don't have another vehicle for about 2 or 3 weeks, then that coating is not how it should be. It needs to be sealed. And once you break the seal, use it on the vehicle.
We were meant to use that whole bottle, so it wasn't really a full application.
Yeah, I see these guys. In these forums, and they're like, "Man, I did 4 vehicles with that one bottle." I'm like, "How?"
Way to go!
And then they got a queue of warranty claims as well. So it's like, wonder why. Not really doing it like you should. And when I install, because it's a hand applied coating, I'm very, 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 what is that? Oh, excuse me. I'm very generous. I soak the hell out of that applicator, and I make so many passes. I'm making sure that it's covered everywhere, and I probably waste some product too, but I just want to make sure that it's there. I'm kind of skeptical of things too at times, like, oh, did I do this? Did I get this time? Let me go over it. I'll go over it over and over and over again, and then I'm like, all right, I feel better now. And that's just some OCD problems right there, I think.
Well, and that's what keeps us coming back, making the 1.5, 2-hour drive from home to Lafayette to come see you.
And I greatly appreciate it.
I know you are going to get it done right the first time.
Yeah.
I'm not going to have to come back.
No.
I'm going to be happy if I got...
And you know what? If I fuck up something, tell me, I'll fix it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not perfect. I may have an off day. I really kind of like this morning was off a little bit before we started. We had to take care of some unintended business here, but I mean, sometimes that happens. Sometimes I get distracted. Like somebody will be talking to me, and I think I've done this before. I was starting to coat a vehicle. I missed a whole door. Because then when I started applying when I started doing this, coming around the second time, I was like, why is this door not? I did more work because I thought I fucked up. So I grabbed the machine and I recorrected the door. And I wasted like 4 hours.
I was going to say, that took a lot of your time.
Yeah. Distracted because somebody walked in and I was talking to them about their vehicle for like an hour. And that's something too, is I don't believe that I don't always take for granted that everybody knows the coding. So hopefully that's something you appreciated, was the time that I spent by just explaining it to you. And it's not like I'm trying to give you a sales pitch. I'm just trying to make sure you understand what you're getting.
Well, knowing your knowledge base on all that, and doing my own research online before I actually contacted you, Amazon's full of a wealth of products that have ceramic in the title of the product.
Or it says 9H too.
Yeah. There's actually a product, 9H something, that comes in little bottles, and I contacted them. I said, you got a 30 milliliter and a 50 milliliter. How do I apply that? How do I know? Oh, well, you have to prep your vehicle and all this other stuff that goes into it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. A little bit beyond my depth here.
Yeah.
And that's when I contacted you, and I looked at your website, and I said, I'm interested about this gold package. And you're like, you hit the mother load on that one, or something to that effect. You say, oh, that's the
jackpot.
Oh, that's the premier package, or?
Well, at the time, it was like the best thing that I had.
Yeah.
Because and I think at that time too, it included the cost of correction as well.
Yeah.
Because it was just so expensive. It was just, in my eyes, it was so expensive too. But it was the only way that I could make anything. I mean, because it would cost me anywhere from $900 to $1,100 in product to install on the vehicle. When you break up the rims and you break up the glass, you got to get a bottle for each of these different substrates, and just the bottle alone of 9H is $300. And on a truck your size, I need 2 of them, so there's $600. My bottle of top coat is $200. So where am I at already?
Bit of a learning curve when you get different size vehicles coming in. I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, that's why, and the prices have been nice to me.
Yeah.
The way that I've set them, where I still make a little bit, and I can afford to still do the cost of correction in there because my correction techniques have gotten better, and I know how to not waste as much time going over something. I found better compounds and finishing polishes and things like that. But I mean, yeah, you that's gold. You just went
straight to.
You wanted number one right there, and you got it.
Then it was like it could take 2.5 to 3 days to complete. And I'm like, oh, well, wait a minute. Well, what about this one? That's the same. What about this? I think you had a bronze one as well.
Yeah, bronze. I didn't want to. I was like, I really wasn't recommending it. I think I told you it'd be better just get OptiCoat instead of that, because that one didn't come with a warranty.
Yeah.
And it's only the SiO2 topper, which now called top coat, which was light. It in Louisiana it'll last. I just from personal experience, anywhere from 16 to 18 months. They say it's 18 to 24 months. I've never seen it last 2 years. So I always take a little bit off because of harsh environments, temperature fluctuations. We've got high humidity here all the time. You're in Houma. You see more wildlife when it comes to bugs.
And droppings.
Yeah. And I mean, so I know yours would get abused a little bit more. It'd be outside all the time. You're not going to be able to wash it every week because you'll be gone 5 weeks at a time. So getting a bronze would have been a waste of your money.
Yep. So very happy with the gold package and the performance level of it. And never ever get tired of people going, wow, what year is that? Really?
Never have you had a vehicle where they're just talking about the appearance. It's not, hey man, nice ride. Because you have a Mustang or a Corvette or something like that. It's you just got a regular truck like everybody else. Yeah. But you're getting the compliments left and right on the appearance.
Even at the dealership, like, so when I go in for an oil change, you sure this is a 14? I'm like, yeah, you should know that too. You work here.
VIN number.
The body lines and everything are a little different from a 14 to a 19 or a 20.
Yeah.
You sure this isn't an 18? Sure. You want to call it an 18? Go for it. I just need an oil change.
Hey, I want to trade it in. Give me 18 prices.
Right.
Oh my God.
I was looking at one of the new Denali's, but I can't do that.
So I will say this, the guy with the AT4,
yeah,
he did complain that he's had transmission and engine problems. He burns a half a quart of oil. Wait, was it a week or a month? I can't remember if it was a week or a month. Chris, chime in, make a comment, something, but he was bitching about that. He's got an AT4. So that's a four-wheel drive Silverado 1500. I mean, and I'm talking about maxed out. He has everything he could possibly have on it. It's a really nice truck, but he's been having problems with it. So he may not even have it past next year if he keeps having problems when I think about it. So,
well, luckily with mine, I have some pretty crafty friends that were able to disable that, drop 4 cylinders and did a lot of
the active fuel management
OBD2 port.
Yeah,
change some shift points and get it off that factory, and I'm actually getting better gas mileage, better performance out of it.
Yeah. What did you change your gear ratio or something like that?
No, just where the shift points are.
Okay.
Because otherwise I go to take off and it would start in first and it would just get to drive as quickly as possible.
Yeah, it shifts through 3. Yeah.
Push on the gas. And it's saying in V4 mode you had to push so far for it to get back to 8. I was to the point where I just need to get rid of this truck. A friend of mine said, no, when you come down to the boat, I've got something I'll plug in. Give that a shot.
Mm-hmm.
Ran around the port for a little bit.
You were like, thank you. I had something similar to that with the G8, because you remember the G8, right? So I can't remember when it was when I actually did it. When did I tune that car? Man, it's whenever I did a Vector Motorsports tune. They, ECM swap out, and then, they gave me all the software. and everything. And I sat in the garage. Well, I was at the apartment complex over there, and I just sat in the, parking lot, programmed it all. And that's when I did the fastest I've ever done, 171 on the bridge. I was like, this tune is great, because I turned off that active fuel management as well, because I used to hate it, because
it makes sense to the engineers when they designed it, I'm sure, but
I'm sorry, you can't make a V8 fuel efficient. I'm done. That's all I have to say about that. So the car had a V8 in it, and of course it wants to shut 4 cylinders off, or it wants to shut 2 cylinders off at a time. It's like, this is the stupidest shit ever. So in certain speeds, I'd have this, and I mean, I had exhaust that changed, and it would have never sounded like that if it wouldn't have been for the way that the cylinders were working, because it would make this weird drone.
Yes.
Hated it. So
I hated that V4 drone from a V8.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not right.
No,
not right. So when I cut that shit off, while I was shitting in tall cotton. I was happy about that.
Well, I'd done similar with mine. I also put a Flowmaster Outlaw exhaust on there.
Yeah, I did notice that this morning. I think I noticed. I'm reminded of it every time whenever you leave and you start it. I'm like, oh, I love the way that sounds.
Really good on a cold start too. My neighbors know every time I start that sucker up at 5:36 in the morning. That.
Yes, and it's not obnoxious.
No,
it's just there to let you know that I'm present.
I was really expecting to be a lot more aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
When I had the shop, I bought the system on Amazon, brought it to a shop. They installed it for $100. Boom.
Yeah.
Took off down the highway to the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Not quite as loud as I'd expected, but then again, like you said, so not obnoxiously loud.
Yeah.
So that's what I liked about it.
So Bonnie's vehicle, it's coated. She's happy with it. We're doing our little experiment where, what are we going on? Have we passed 2 years? So we've passed 2. Are we going on? We're in year 3, or we're going to pass year 3 actually?
We're starting to approach year 3.
Okay,
she's due November.
So we're about to find out how long top coat actually lasts on a vehicle that doesn't sit outside, stays in the garage, barely sees sunlight,
gets driven in the rain rarely because she doesn't like driving in the rain.
Yeah, yeah.
So it just gets exposed to dog fur and just regular garage dust.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm not going to void your warranty or anything like that, because I mean, hell, you're pretty honest with me about what's going on. I trust you. So I mean, and then I guess that trust is mutual, because we'll go back to how we first met. We worked together.
Yep.
You were my boss. You ran the boat.
Short period of time.
And I ran navigation at night, where I used to want to strangle my old boss. Well, not the admin, Andre. I didn't want to strangle him. I mean, there were times I wanted to strangle him too, because it just didn't. Some things just didn't make sense to me. But the hierarchy, you can only question so far. You get stuck at one part of the chain of command. You can't go nowhere else. So
that's it.
That's kind of how it goes. But I tell you what, I did my fucking damnedest to outshine everybody at night. Boy, nights. I don't even know why I like nights so much. I think I've always worked nights though. I've always worked nights.
I come in and I see the top of your head over the desk that y'all put off to the side. You had the dual monitors set up to just where you can see who's coming in and who's not. And if I came in off the side, morning guys, and you don't hear mouse clicks like you hear until I come in on the other door, and you,
of course,
everybody's minimizing the window.
Gotta close them windows out. I was like, wait, what you hiding from me? Oh, damn.
I'm just saying good morning.
Oh man. So I mean, coming to our boat, and I mean, what was your first impression of me as a person? I mean, because this'll let me know what you thought. I mean, hell, you trusted me, so I must have had a good first impression.
You would do it and work with the, what was it? That system before size pause.
Shit.
Gmax? No. I don't know.
Oh shit, I don't remember.
It was a source processing software before size pause.
Yeah.
That was very difficult to learn. Yeah, and you had kind of walked me through the steps, because being a previous chief nav as well, I wanted to get an idea of it. But then when looking at the processing logs that you had done and created, the depths of detail, there was nowhere that I had to question what happened on this line.
Yeah.
Everything was there, start to finish, positive findings, negative findings, rooms for improvement, whatever. I mean, it was all there.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew who I had on my hands.
It's like, oh shit! If shit hits the fan, I'm gonna have to fight with this little fucker.
Told you, look right here.
Yeah. Did you read that? See, Trace, this is why I'm the way I am. I'm a fucking technical person, and sometimes you just gotta tell me no. Tim, no. Okay. I'm fine with that.
It's 100%. It's all backed up. Everything is right there. There's nothing hidden. Everything's fully transparent.
Yeah.
So as your company says, full attention to detail is what I was seeing in all your reports, all the work products that you put out. Everything was on top. So
yeah, and this is oceanic seismic surveying that we did together, y'all. So if y'all don't know what that is, go look it up.
Pretty much mapping the subsea surface for
it is stage
natural resources.
We'll say it's stage 0 for the oil companies. They got to know where to go drill. So they buy this information from survey companies.
And now we're pretty much doing a sort of like a life of field, a reservoir management, where we're going in and doing a 4D survey, putting the nodes exactly where they were in the last survey, and may not be as big of a footprint as the original survey. So it's kind of more toned down to tell if they're shifting or depleting.
Okay, so you're saying like if a directional driller is unsure of a spot, you could go out there and you could remap it so that he could see the formation better?
Correct.
Okay, nice.
They're not going to see the results as quick because it's all autonomous nodes. You got to pull them up, process them, get them into the office.
Yeah, but if it's going to be $1 million mistake or $1 million win, I think I'm a wait. So especially right now in the climate of the oil field, I think they're counting even to the thousands now instead of. I think they used to stop on the drill ship. They'd be like, if it's not more than 50 grand, or if it's I think it was 150 grand. If it's not more than 150 grand, don't worry about it. It'll all wash in the end. What? And that's when them boys would come home with all kind of crazy shit. You know, they should be modified with oil field parts. But yeah, now this shit's getting counted down to the penny. The oil field will never be the way it was. So what you're doing still with this mapping are places so the management y'all are doing it. So will a rig be in operation? Because I remember we used to always go around rigs. How many meters was it? 150 meters or 200
no
meters?
Less than 100 meters steel to steel, and within 500 meters a permit to work.
Yeah, because I remember we had to call in at certain points when we entered the zones and exited the zones and stuff like that. And
permits.
Remember Gulfax survey where you were entering a zone like every hour? That shit was nuts. I used to hate them.
Yeah, because I had to be on the bridge for every single one of me and Captain Gregory. I laid out my bunk. I couldn't take it no more.
Yeah.
Who? You said his name earlier. Terrell?
Terrell. Yeah. Tubby Buddy. I call him Tubby Buddy. Terrell, you got Ben. Yeah.
Ben Mitchell comes in.
Yeah.
Yo, boss man. Come on, we got another one. I'm like, fuck off. No, dude, seriously. And he grabbed my foot. And I'm like, oh, seriously. I'm done.
Didn't we start planning the shoot so you could get some sleep? I think we did.
We had to.
We figured, well, because of course that in navigation, we were the ones in charge of that, because once the node boat would get off, as long as we did it within a certain period of time, then we didn't have to worry about it. We still shot on time for most time. We just had to figure out a way to say, man, Frank gonna need some sleep. We have to get these permits towards where they need to just be during his shift so that he can just go up the stairs when he's awake.
Because I got other responsibilities too that you have to do throughout the day.
Yeah.
As well as the captain. He's got other things he has to do besides being up on the wheelhouse. So they got down to fatigue management.
Mm-hmm.
And ended up having to get a management of change to our policy to where somebody aside from the party chief and the captain can be on the bridge.
Well, I think it started turning to Chief Nab was going up there, because that's when Dre was waking up Dre. Fuck. Hey, man, I'm sorry. You can go tell Frank he can go up there if he wants to.
He enjoyed that one.
I would go if I could, but I'm not that important. Even though sometimes I think that bitch would have sunk everyone without me. No, I shouldn't say that. Fuck, I wasn't. I mean, I was just good. I just did my job. That's all. We just had a lot of people that didn't do their job.
This
podcast is brought to you by Polished by Full Attention to Detail, Acadiana's only award-winning automotive detailing and ceramic coating installation company in Acadiana. Guys, this podcast could not be done without Polished by Full Attention to Detail. Check them out, www.fullattentiontodetail.com. And some that thought they were doing their job, but once again, it's like every company, you got all those different characters that, you have to deal with.
You'll have some slackers, some overachievers, some in-betweeners.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, it's kind of like any kind of football, basketball team. You see who's slacking behind. You kind of, all right, man, come on, we got to get you in here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the boats that y'all have now, because everybody knows they sunk the New Venture. And that was the boat that we met on. Yeah, she's a reef now. I don't know. Do fish make babies in the boat or something?
Corals will grow on it.
Corals, that's what it is. It's the growth to expand.
Then it attracts other things, which attract other things.
Which will also bring life with the fish and everything that come around it to live around it, right?
Fish will come around and feed off of.
Yeah, okay. I'm not a biologist, but we have one next week coming. So yeah, and I'm gonna talk about that too. I'm gonna find out if he knows about it because they sunk it in the Gulf, right?
Yeah, it's off of Alabama.
Okay, is it out there where that Apache survey was?
Close to it.
Okay, yeah, because he studies. They grow coral at UL and stuff like that, and they're studying all that stuff.
Formation and growth.
Yeah, he does all of that. He's a little scientist. So we're about to have I won't be doing a lot of talking on that podcast. I don't know shit about biology. I just know if I cut myself, I'll bleed, and I better go get seen about so it can heal. That's the biology I know. Well, that and wear your raincoat or you're going to catch something. And wear your mask or you're going to get COVID. Those are my biology tips right there. Very limited. Very fucking limited. So, yeah. So do they have any more boats like the New Venture? Because I've been gone, so I'm pretty sure a lot of things have changed.
A lot of companies, not just the one that we worked for, a lot went to what they call an asset light management, to where they don't have the overhead of the vessels, the maintenance, marine crew. So you contract a vessel, outfit it with what you need on it, do say a 3-year lease, year by year, option to renew. So then you don't actually have, like we had it was all one seismic and marine.
Oh, dude, the European Explorer or whatever. Wasn't that what it was?
European Supporter.
That big bastard. I wanted to be on that thing so bad, but I was like, I don't want to fuck with no nodes. I don't fuck with no nodes. I don't think they like me anyway. I'm too loud and I don't put up with nobody bullshit.
Yeah, and the desk over there, you had the navigator and the shift lead operator sat at a very tight desk.
Oh, I saw it.
Because even though it looked like a big boat, there wasn't much of a recording room.
No, when it came to where we worked,
you could play 2 or 3 rounds of ping pong in there, man.
Oh, but on the New Venture,
and I won't confirm or deny that some of that might have taken place.
Yeah, well, you're talking about on the New Venture, though, right? With the fucking nav room was 5 times bigger than the bridge. And and then when I tell people, oh, yeah, I was a shift lead navigator for seismic survey vessel, they're like, oh, wow, so you made the maps and stuff? Not the maps you're used to seeing. My maps ain't gonna make any fucking sense. Oh, so yeah. So so did you work on the Supporter at all?
Yes.
You did?
Yeah, I was on there for a couple years as chief nav until I made the transition up to party chief.
Okay.
And then a couple of guys had left. I filled in their spot and made the transition over to the source vessel while she was in dry dock before going to Gabon.
Yeah. Well, that's when you came to us, right? Isn't that what it? Yeah. Now, when I left, though, did they keep the Supporter? Did they? Because didn't that replace the Sea Pacer eventually?
Oh, yeah. I must say it was somewhere in 2014, beginning of 2015.
Oh, so that was right after I left then, because I left in July of 14.
I think the Supporter might have made it through 15. There was one job that was in the Gulf of Mexico. I'll leave names out of it. But we could not get the nodes to land where we wanted them, even with a 500-meter offset.
Wait, I thought that was an ROV one. That wasn't with the big? No, it
Mm-mm.
wasn't? Okay, my bad.
Not too far off the Gulf of Mexico, but the currents were so bad that even with a 500-meter offset from the line, we still couldn't get the nose to land correctly.
There's some kind of weird undercurrent or something?
Yeah, in the depths, you had multi-currents such as you go down through the water column,
Mm-hmm.
and it was just wish-washing it everywhere. Hard to track it with the acoustic transponders. And it was just landing 600-700 meters away.
Wow. Well, that had to be one hell of a freaking survey.
No, I wasn't there. I was at the house.
Yeah, you were indisposed.
I heard about it.
doing something else. Oh man, yeah. And the places that this job took us, I'm trying to think. We had North Sea was like the prevalent one. That's the one I did the most work in. And then we did some Gulf of Mexico work. I used to hate that shit. Because it's like, I didn't work in the oil field to work in the Gulf of Mexico. Because I was used to international.
Mm-hmm.
I was used to working in other foreign waters because I live off the Gulf of Mexico. Why do I want to go in the Gulf of Mexico when I fucking live off of it? Send me as far away as possible as you can, please.
When we got away from the Gulf of Mexico, though, there was no more crew changes.
Yeah, that's how it should be. I wasn't used to that crew change shit. They'd be like, you getting on that boat? I was like, but that's not the boat we're working on. They're like, yeah, but that's the boat that takes you to the boat. No, that's not how this works.
And then you step across.
I was like, there's no helicopter pad on this thing. This is how stupid. This is fucking international diva working in the Gulf. There ain't no helicopter pad on that little bitty boat. No, you're gonna have to swing, or you gonna swing. Y'all out y'all's motherfucking mind. This is a safety hazard. I don't know how many cards I wrote about safety hazards on swinging from boat to boat.
We don't use the word swing. It's not a swing line. People would call it this crew swing line, or yeah, you had to try and get that phrase out of everybody's mind.
You see, in my thing,
it's a transfer line, not a swing line. You hear a swing line, think of somebody grabbing the line, just picking their feet up, saying catch.
And you know what? Before I came to the shit, I'm gonna say it because I am not talking bad about them, but Fairfield back in the day, when I was with NOV, there was some rowing rigs I had to go on to, and that's what I had to do. I had to get on the stupid rope with the 3 knots on it and swing to the platform and then climb my ass all the way to the top, which sucked because they had to change a gearbox on a top drive. And I was like, and I saw all that stuff on the boat. I was like, we're not carrying that shit. They're like, no, Tim, we're gonna do heavy lifts. Well, can I be heavy? I want to get on that thing and do a heavy lift too. No,
that's a personnel lift.
Swing to the platform. I was like, well, I guess today is a good day to die.
You got wet?
Huh?
Did you get wet?
Fucking right I did. Shit. You gotta go change when you go upstairs. And then you can't go in the room because every rowing rig I went to was a 12-man cabin. And at least 8 people were sleeping when I'd arrive. I'm like, this is some bullshit. I gotta stop this. I'm just the fucking software nerd. Why am I going through this? Send me back to Korea. But yeah. So, I mean, I'm trying to think of, we did Gabon together as well, but I didn't get to go to any of the new fun places y'all are going. Y'all are going to the Middle East now.
We just wrapped up over in Qatar, Persian Gulf.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's, in the North Sea, we mentioned that. Jobs off of Scotland, Norway.
Yeah. I think that's still considered the North Sea, isn't it? Or does it change? Because there's a point where the water just gets like super calm. I know that.
No, you get the North Sea and then you go up and then you get to the Norwegian Sea.
Or maybe I'm just thinking of the coastline. The west coastline is what gets crazy. And then once you get south and you pass that tip of the UK where it turns into like a body of water, I thought that is that considered the North Sea too?
We get the Irish Sea. Down there you're talking about before you get into the channel?
I just thought there were 2 parts to the North Sea. I thought there was a calm one and a And I know the choppy one is the west side of Norway. That's where we did a 42-degree list, and we were 3 tons overweight. You weren't there for that, I don't think.
Heard those footprints on the bulkheads.
Trace, I went to bed. I can't remember if it was starting to get dark, but I worked nights, so I don't know why I was still awake. But I went to bed late, and I woke up and like all my shit was on the other side of the room, and I was like, man, we had some rough water last night. And then of course I get to Nav and I'm like, man, we had a 42-degree lisp and we 3 tons overweight. I'm like, ooh. I'm like, oh shit, that's Davy Jones' locker right there.
I don't know if they actually registered 42. I'm sure that's what it felt like, but.
Well, I was told that. I didn't go look at any charts. I didn't know how to look at that stuff, but I just know the captain we had a discussion about it during the safety meeting, and and actually was present for it and everything like that. And I was like, oh, so this shit really did happen. It's like, holy crap.
After something like that, you have a little after action review and just say, all right, this is how we need to, what kind of mitigation factors can we put into place there to keep this from happening again? Or how can we better respond to something like that? Because that's a serious role.
Tim Smartass said, let's not be 3 tons overweight next time. Why were we overweight? That's what but it was because we were forced to stay out longer than we should have been. We were supposed to be in port. We were not even supposed to go shoot in that weather, but they were told, just stay out there. It will pass quickly. Oh yeah. Yeah, and you would have had 42 motherfuckers feeding the fishes at the bottom of the sea. I think that's when I first triggered my discontent for The Office. So
I definitely wasn't there for that one, but the captain has overriding authority. He should be able to say, hey, I'm responsible for the souls in the vessel on here. I'm heading in.
I think he was asleep and they woke him up for the middle of the bad weather, and then that's when the list happened. It was just too late. It's like you get woke up and you're in the storm. It's like, I'm in the storm.
I can say I've been caught like that before.
Fucking hell. Yeah, I was never a fan of, my what do we call that? Nothing to do with you, but my sordid history with the company and the decisions they made. I got tired of not saying anything. So I just started saying things. And they didn't like that. And it took a promotion away from me as well, which is fine. And I just kept saying what I needed to say. So, but somebody had to, I feel somebody had to. Somebody that had been there for a while. Because they're just dealing with so much BS. And I guess it didn't help that then the captain was like, I got you back, Tim. As long as you're right. He's like, don't be wrong.
Right.
And make me look like a fucking fool. And like I told you before, the fucking 10-page letter that I sent to the office, it's amazing how they responded to that too.
That went to the VP of operations?
Yes. It went all the way through. They had a special meeting about it too.
Oh, I bet they did.
And they probably said, who's this Tim Washington motherfucker? And I emailed it to everybody. I was like, you're not going to ignore me. You're not going to, you come to the boat and you talk to all this shit and you still didn't answer my questions. I want you to answer to Omaha Mutual what you're doing to us, because they're the ones that have to pay out this insurance policy. When my throat gets cut on public TV because we got raided and they were looking for something and we ain't got shit. That's how I felt. And I didn't have a wife, I didn't have kids. I didn't have a girlfriend, a boyfriend, I didn't have anything. So it's like, I was thinking about the crew and I was like, they got kids, they got families, and they're not getting the answers they need. Let me show them what a real company does. And I pulled up like everything that I did at National Oil Varco. When they brought me to safe areas, you got a packet with everything and phone numbers and this and everything and contingency plans and all this other stuff. And for that to happen, and don't worry about it. I'm doing the fucking work. Don't worry about it. Okay. You can worry about it when that motherfucker climb up and grab a hatchet and put it in somebody's head, huh? Woulda, shoulda, coulda, but it's too late. So it was more of a reactive type of thing, and of course they didn't like what I had to do. It's funny how I remember those things.
Things have changed quite a bit. We have security agencies that not only for seismic, but any offshore operations that give them risk assessments for the area, where there's high risk, where lower risks. We made a transit coming out and around through the Straits of Hormuz and around Oman, between Somalia and Yemen.
When you get around there, they don't play, and that's the east side.
Well, the Navy has a I forgot the acronym for them, but they're out there. They're patrolling that whole interchannel waterway.
Well, I think there's a fleet. There's actually there's 8 vessels out there. There's an aircraft carrier out there that stays
it's
there
part
too.
of an international coalition.
Oh, okay. Like a patrolling thing, just an alliance or something to just keep that area safe, probably.
Even though for insurance purposes, we had to put razor wire all around the vessel. Good physical looking deterrent, but if somebody really wants on board,
they're gonna get on board.
And we had 3 armed guards that were on board, and we had a couple of drills. Okay, if this word comes out, this is where we go. This is how we do it. Guys, okay, these cases right here, don't be concerned with them. Don't touch them. They belong to us.
Yeah. Pretend that you have never seen these, but know that they're there.
You've got some good old boys from the States here that can probably help you out in a pinch if you like. I'm sure. I do appreciate that, sir, but do not touch the cases.
Yep. I just want to see what toys you got in there. Just take out the toys.
He'd go out and he'd make his rounds. He had a sniper rifle with him, and he'd be looking with his high-powered binoculars and looking.
And you see, that's what I was used to, because whenever we'd have to go through the Straits of Malacca, Singapore, and all them other areas over there, which are high-risk areas, with a fucking big-ass drill ship that they'd be trying to hijack, we had, God darn it, I can't remember who it was, one of the Berets, and we had one of the French Army people. I can't remember if they're Green Berets or whatever they are. We had them on the drill ship, but we never saw them. They were like, don't go looking for them. Leave them alone. If you happen to see them on the bow, don't talk to them. Leave them alone. They have a job to do.
They're being focused. They're there for a reason.
And many times I'd be on the heliport just walking around, just because I'd be in between whatever, or I'd just be ending my shift. I just walk on the heliport. You'd see he'd pop up one place and he'd disappear. You're like, oh, look, ninja. I called them ninjas. I was like, well, the ninjas is keeping us safe, man. Because you'd have to go through those straits slow. You couldn't blast through them. So that's what I was used to. Because, I mean, escorting drill ships, you know, from South Korea to Africa, and then from Africa to the United States, you'd go through some of the shittiest places ever. And you're a big-ass target.
Because they have some sort of ship escort, vessel response systems that will not only go out and get you during bad weather, but also escort you through not so pleasant areas.
Yeah, that's good. I'm glad y'all have that.
Yeah.
I mean, especially if y'all are expanding and going all over the place. That was the thing I wished I would have seen back then, not just the don't worry about it. And once again, that's those key words I can't stand, Frank. Just tell me you don't know and you're working on it. Kind of like how I say, I just want to hear no. Just tell me it's in work at least. Give me a warm and fuzzy that you are pretending you care, and I will walk away. Just use your words wisely around me. I'm glad it's going good though, Frank, because I was kind of worried for a while. I was worried for you and Elliot though, because I just knew the instability of the oil field and how that was all going. I know when 2016 happened and they closed the offices in South Korea and they said, we're done here. I was like, oh shit. Y'all
not as we're cutting back.
They were done.
Yeah.
They were done. No more DSME shipyard. So it's like, there's no Chevron presence at DSME shipyard. I mean, and that was where Chevron pretty much produced the future of its money-making machine. So for them to pull out of that, it's like, oh crap, this industry is actually going to crap. And of course, there's a lot of things that are in boneyards and dry docked all over the place in the Gulf of Mexico too. But it's just like, ugh. Yeah, I was done. I don't like going to the rowing rigs and stuff like that because they don't have very much for me to do. I'm not a mechanically inclined person. My little fragile fingers will break trying to fucking separate shit and that you can barely separate with a crowbar, you know. My strength is my brain. with computers and electronics and things like that. But I just was fearing that for you guys, where it starts where they need to find oil, that there would just be, we're going to just stay with the wells we have.
Exploration is the first thing that gets cut.
Yeah. So I was worried about y'all, but I'm glad y'all are doing good now. Because, I mean, every time I talk to you, you're busy. I mean, you've had to change the schedule a couple times, but I had to change mine as well because of what was going on. And we finally got you in for your annual. So, like, when you tell them, hey, I got this coating, a ceramic pro, you tell them how much it costs. You told me about a guy that's got F11.
Oh, yeah. There's some people that I know. They just firmly believe in that. And the amount that they buy, they have to go in on it because they use so much of it.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, if you're using that much of a product, maybe it's not holding up as long, or it's just for the day, it's going to look great. Maybe for the week.
Hey, so Frank, that's like relating it to the boat. If you have a wire that just keeps snapping, and it's a wire you need, and it keeps snapping, you can look for a better wire, right?
Damn right.
I wish people would fucking apply that to the shit that they use of their vehicle.
Yep.
And you know what I love about those commercials for F11? And I reported one as spam, because the guy's got this black car with the fluorescent lights on the top, and it's bright on top, and he's wiping, but he goes, and look at that shine. And I'm like, okay, put the light on where the camera angle is. Come on, get the light over there. And even if he did, it's fluorescent light. It's not going to show the scratches and the swirls. It's not going to show the imperfections. And why am I so big on scratches and swirls? I'm big on scratches and swirls because nothing can bond correctly to that. That's imperfections in the paint. That's why you're using a wax or a sealant every week, because it just wears off. But the manufacturer sticker on the back says it should last you a month. It's because your surface is imperfect. So it can't stay there long. Yep. You're filling in the little holes, and that's all you're doing. And then it wears off. So that's what he's doing with F11. But I just love it in the commercial. They do that. But they won't even show the fluorescent light over the camera angle of what the panel they're looking at, because they don't want to see the damage they're doing with it. Well, I just took this bottle, I'm gonna wipe. Yeah, so nah, that's not a coating though. And everybody loves that word, ceramic coating. Boy, they love that.
They're getting away from that phrase sealant so much as now saying coating.
Oh yeah.
And they like the phrase out there, ceramic too. There was a guy with one of those awnings that you like keep your boat under in the backyard. Get your ceramic coating today for $99.
And then when I tell people it takes 4 days, they look at me like I'm fucking stupid. And I'm like, because you're getting a ceramic coating and it's getting corrected and prepped and everything. And, oh, I can't be out my car that long. Okay, well, you don't want a coating then. Well, I can go to that car wash and get a coating. Sure. What? I can't argue with you.
If that makes you feel warm and fuzzy, go for it. Yeah.
How often are you going to that car wash? Well, it tells me to go twice a week to get my coating. So you got to get recoated twice a week? Oh. Which would you rather? I think long time ago, I posted before I even started installing ceramic coatings. And I don't care. I'll say their name. Classic Auto Spa here in town. And I think it was one of the family members. I took a picture of just the tunnel part, didn't take a picture of their sign or anything like that. And I zoomed in so you just wouldn't see the surrounding, because I just didn't want to call them out that bad. And I just said, which would you rather? Would you rather be a weekly client or a once every 6 month? I mean, would you want to be a once a week customer or a once every 6 month client? And that's when I was just doing correction work, just making the paint look good and doing really good wax, really good sealant. Because I found what I was doing on some of the clients' vehicles. Kelvin was one of them. That they would only have to come see me every 5 or 6 months, because the wax and sealant combination that I would install lasted that long.
All right.
And one of the yahoos that work there, or they were a family member, because I had to go troll and find out they were and somehow tied to the guy that owns the place and everything like that. He was like, makes sense. I'd rather go here twice a week. I'm like, huh? Did you not understand what I just said? From the customer's perspective, I think I'd only want to go see somebody once every 6 months than have to go and spend money every 2 weeks.
Yeah, because you got to put that into your budget. So
Yeah. And how much is it that they pop in? I think it's $10 every time you go in that little thing. So, so 20 times 52. What is that? 20 times 52. Is that, huh?
140 out of 0. So it should be 1,400.
So basically you're getting $1,040 from each person. Yeah. You come see me and pay your $2,000 and then your $275 after that.
Yep.
So after 3 years, the coating's paid for itself. Better than I'm gonna go to that tunnel car wash every twice every week.
And all the decontamination, the prep work's done correctly. It's all installed correctly. It lasts a lot longer.
I think the only thing that every once in a while it has to be done is you may have to clay some of them every once in a while, depending on where you park, because things can contaminants that will stick can do it to the coating. Not as much sticks to it. I'm pretty sure you've probably witnessed that. I mean,
no, even love bugs or whatnot can need a little effort, but not as much.
I'm thinking about the tar and
I haven't
things like
experienced that yet.
Oh well, I've come across that, but it has that anti-stick property. But there's just certain little things though. When you clay, it just gets it out, and it the coating can get abused. Things can happen to it, but the normal shit that me, you, him are exposing it to, I think there's just nothing better. There's nothing better.
I'm a firm believer.
Yeah.
I can see the difference in everybody's vehicles, and it just makes me. Well, I think it makes Bonnie crazy too, because
I've created some little monsters.
I'll be like, "Damn, baby, look at all the swirls in that car." She goes, Oh no. They just don't know.
I just love how she just did not believe in it. That's a waste of money. Don't do it. Don't. And then all of a sudden, Ella just takes us some David Blaine stuff. Holy shit. And now she's out there loud capping people. Look your shit.
Well, she's giving out your card when we were in town. We were at our favorite little watering hole by the hotel.
Yeah.
And I'd be talking about what brings you into town. And I'd tell them about ceramic coating. They said, "Oh, wow, that sounds interesting." And she's got a card ready to give them.
Yeah, damn.
Some guy had a Corvette CTS, and he had this thing with a 327 under the hood. Popped up, and this thing's made for racing.
Oh, shit.
She goes, "Do you wash this yourself?" She don't care about the motor.
It's bad when the wife is calling him out.
Engine part, she wasn't too interested. I was looking underneath the hood going, "Holy shit." She goes, "You wash this yourself?" Sure did. She goes, "Now I can tell." Here's the card.
Loud cap. You need to get that fixed.
Go see the man.
Oh, yeah. I love it. I freaking love it.
So I don't know if he ever showed up or not, but we told him, what? About 4 or 5 miles from that corner of Cali Saloon and Pinhook.
Now, I don't know. I really don't know what this year is going to be like. Hey, y'all, I have my Starbucks. Normally I have Starbucks. Look at this. This is a fucking CBD energy drink. Well, no, it's not supposed to make you sleepy or high or anything. It's just supposed to be good for recovery. So, like, if you work out and everything like that, it's supposed to be good for recovery. But it's not even supposed to make you go to sleep. It's not supposed to make you sleepy. I don't even know if it's supposed to wake you up. But nonetheless, it's good. I do like it because it kind of... The CBD things alleviate shoulder pain. So that's why, because, just shit is compound. This compound injury is just ridiculous. And I'm not going to take any narcotics or any... I don't know what the hell that shit is. They tried to give me a couple years ago, but I was like, no, I'm not doing that.
That's going to be the last option on the road. Those are scary stuff.
Yeah, well, I just don't want to be addicted to that stuff.
Right.
But yeah, so gotta excuse me. I'm going to yawn because it's like no coffee. It's like I never even started the day. It's
like I said, I had those 2 big coffees and started my day right.
Oh, man. But I forgot so I was going to go. So it's like, I'm just glad that there's a product that lives up to its name, because I knew it was. And then of course, when friends and clients like yourself stand by it, and you're spreading the word. You're telling people about it, and they see it. They see the difference.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's the big thing is a truck with that color, you see it. I really love when the wives get in on it, because another client, he owns a business here in town. They got gypped by somebody that coated 2 of their vehicles, and a year later the shit was gone. He said the vehicle looked worse than it did when they brought it to the guy. So,
and of course the guy's probably nowhere to be found.
Of course not. He's hiding in somebody else's building under that name. You know, he's online touting his name, but when you pull up to the building, he doesn't have a sign on the building, somebody else's sign. So he's tarnishing somebody else's name now too. But she told him, don't do it. They bought a brand new Expedition. She said, don't do it. I'm still going through the tunnel car washes. I don't care, because I don't believe in this. It don't work. And he told me, he goes, she's going to go through the tunnel car wash. He's like, I want to get it done though. He goes, because I really see what you're doing. I want to experience what you can do for us.
Well, the thing about those tunnel car washes, like you explained to me, all those brushes, that's all been all over other people's vehicles.
It's a dirt transfer factory. How many times do they clean those brushes? Yeah, the little guys are standing at the end of the car wash, not doing shit. They could go in the tunnel and pressure wash all that mud off, but are they? No, they're not doing that. How often do they change those brushes? What are those brushes made out of?
How abrasive is it?
And it's spinning at whatever RPM it's at. It's beating the shit out of your car. Yeah. Why do you want? I saw a Nissan GTR going through there. I was like, why the fuck are you bringing Godzilla through there? That's ridiculous. But going back to his wife, so he cleaned it in the garage. If you big ass Expedition, he said, Tim, it took me an hour. He goes, because I got to get on a ladder, I got to clean the top. And he goes, it took me an hour because I had to get used to doing it. So he'll be on the podcast soon too. But I said, I was like, so does your wife watch you? Or he goes, no, she cleans it now. I was like, fuck. I was like, well, I guess I know what it's going to look like during the annual inspection, because she already said she was going through the tunnel car washes. He was like, no, she cleans it in the garage.
Nice.
I was like, so he goes, yeah, she knows there's a big difference between what we got before and what we have now. I was like, I think it's just, you said you saw it just in my work ethic, just working with you. You didn't even know me you just knew me as I was one of your navigators that was on the vessel that, needed to be held accountable for whatever was going on, because I was also a supervisor.
We see your daily log, your processing logs and everything.
But you saw the quality, even though it might just be writing, that means a lot technically to us that need to report. If you've got because you had to generate reports off of what I'm saying. If I'm asleep and you can make your report, I've done my job. I don't like people coming back, asking me questions, chasing me for things. I'm the same way with these coatings. I know I understand what it's made of. I truthfully know how long it's gonna last. I know the system can't be broke. Here you go. Don't bother me until it's, as far as the vehicle is concerned, don't bother me again until it's time for annual inspection time. That's it. I know it should do that. I've tested it and I've done it enough. And there's no question about it. And I wish I could get through more people's heads that you do honestly get what you pay for. And you're going to pay sometimes for some things tenfold if you don't do it right.
Yep. There's a couple of guys in town I've seen that they went to another person in the Homa area. Mm-hmm. And their idea of an annual is, I think you mentioned it before, the spray sport.
I told you to watch out for that. I think that's why you decided you would say, hey, I just need you to do it from now on.
I would much rather take the ride out here, bring it to you. I know your level of work. You did the install. I know the install was done correctly. I know the annual will be done right. Mm-hmm. This other guy says, yeah, I just need it for a couple hours. I'll get that spray on there and you'll be something and done and out you go. And I'm like, and on to the next one. How many do you do in a day? So I could probably hit 6 or 8 annuals in one day.
Truly,
It's something for time and efficiency, but that's not something that's good product.
In a time when I'm broke and I don't have any money, I can't do that. I can't. Even just like how you had a free annual inspection and you were like, oh, I'll go ahead and pay you, I'll help you out. No, you earned a free annual inspection. That's just the type of person I am. I think I had somebody said, Tim, you're too fucking honest. I have to sleep at night. Whether it's with an empty stomach or a clear conscience, I'd rather my conscience be clear. That's just how I am. Those guys doing that, I don't know how they sleep at night. Because the system that you install, and they teach them that, you can't complete this gold package without your 9H and without your top coat. Common sense dictates, if you know that top coat's only going to last 2 years, why the fuck are you going to spray sport on for your annual inspection?
On top of a 10 layer of what they tote.
No. Oh, so let's
we've already talked about that.
Let's talk about this fucking 10 layer shit. So I guess some kind of diamond or some platinum package.
I struck a nerve with you when I sent you that one.
Oh, fuck sakes. Because when you get to, I've tried to
see your thumbs probably going, what the fuck?
Be careful, because if I'm on Facebook Messenger, most times I'm on that computer downstairs. So if it seems like I'm pumping a mouse because I'm on that keyboard, just
it's like that meme with Kermit going.
Yes, exactly. So I mean, I can reply pretty quick when I'm on that keyboard. But when you told me about that, so I had to start digging, and then I thought of it. I was like, oh, wait a minute, that's that same shit that they were fucking talking about in San Diego. So when I tested ceramic pro, I was like, well, how many layers can I do? Because you got to do it within 45 minutes to 2 hours and 45 minutes for it to bond correctly, yada, yada, yada. And so it doesn't start rejecting itself. Now, they got some guys, they'll go and they'll just layer some of it one day. The next day, they'll layer some more. The next day, they layer some more. The next day, they layer some more. I don't really know how well that actually works. I do know that after layer 5, it rejects the coating completely.
Damn.
It's where, and if you're installing it properly, and this was, I think these were hour and 30-minute applications between. I did 5 layers. When I went to the 6th, it beat it off. That's not what it's supposed to do. When you're putting it on, it looks like a paste wax almost. And then the more you put on, the more you got to work it. You got to start leveling it while it's fresh, and then you got to let it flash, and then you level the remaining residue, and you got to get it off. And with Ceramic Pro, there's a certain way you have to take it off, because if you don't, it's going to leave a haze, or you'll start seeing all the streaks. You'll see all the patterns on how it was installed, everything. So
not your end goal.
So this 10 layer bullshit, you didn't get 10 applications, I promise you. And if you did, that installer's stupid, and he wasted half of what he bought putting it on there, because it rejects itself after the 5th one. So I could imagine if they said, well, oh, I did a layer each day. Oh, well, you really wasted product, because then it already flashed and it did an initial hardening that allows the rain to rain on it. So you're full of shit. The gimmick, and that's what I don't like about Ceramic Pro. The marketing gimmicks, the ways that they try to get the installers to make more money. That sport shit, it's in the book, and it tells them use sport for your annual inspection. I can't do that because you broke the system. You can't break the system. If you break the system and you start using sport, you have 6 months of no top coat on the 9H. So what are you doing? You're fucking shit up.
Yep.
And then I haven't like saturated the market here in Lafayette or anything, but I have random people that, just come up to me. What did you do differently to my friend's car? I have Ceramic Pro. What did you get? Oh, I got a gold package too. I was like, I'll go look at it, and I'm like, well, this has to be redone. I don't know what you got, but it's not a gold package. I mean, something was skipped, or you were lied to, or they didn't use the product that they said they were going to use.
Might have slacked on the preparation, decontaminant, or the base, and didn't take it as well.
Or like the guy that was spraying WD-40 on people's vehicles. He made it super slick and super shiny, and then 2 months later, they started having clear coat failure because the sun baked the fucking oil onto the surface of the clear coat. Because that's what WD-40 is, a fucking lubricant. It's oil. You fucking morons. But the client didn't know that. Oh, he did such a good job. And what's the guy? Oh, he was trained by this manufacturer. The manufacturers don't train fucking detailers. They train their mechanics. So and that's the hardest thing is just to, and I love my clients that like the knowledge and they use the knowledge to make a decision. Whether you were going to come to me or you were going to go to Dipnotic or go to, well, that's who services New Orleans. That's another one that's close to you. Whether you were going to go to me or go to them, I just wanted you to have knowledge.
Yep.
This is what you need to know. And you can choose to go to them if you want, because it's a Ceramic Pro thing. They can pull you up. You've got your book and everything. And I didn't fill out your book, but that's okay. Don't stress it.
I got it with me.
You do?
Yep.
Because you told me about it, and then I was dealing with all the crap of running around this morning. So, yeah. I mean, get what you pay for. And I don't know. Hopefully next year will be a good year. I call the rest of this year a bust. Thankfully, the SBA is gonna come in with its Superman cape.
There you go.
I don't know how long I gotta wait though. Shit.
Still knitting that thing.
Obviously, right? They gotta put a few more hems in it.
Yeah.
Shit. They better make it super long because I'm 6'2", so none of that stopping at my calf. I want it to drag on the floor. So yeah. I'm trying to think of anything else here, Frank.
No, Bonnie and I, we love coming out here to see you, make sure that you're the one that handles all our vehicles.
I'm surprised she didn't come. She could have sat right there. She could have popped in with her 2 cents.
Well, that's what she said. She was just going to sit in the side. She wasn't going to say anything. She wasn't going to be seen. She just wanted to be kind of off to the side.
You never know, because I could just make her talk, and she just start talking, and she just make her drift on in. There you go.
Yeah, it was definitely worth it for us. Good peace of mind with your quality of work, your knowledge base, and it all shows in how the product performs.
Yeah. Well, shit, Frank, I always appreciate everything, the word you're spreading. I can't say, I can't give you the good news that people have came from it, but that's their choice, you know.
You freaked out when I showed you that video. I was pouring water on my truck. I said, check this out after 3 weeks. And you're like,
I like that, though. I wish more clients would.
Clients actually sending me a video.
Yes, I like that because, of course, I install something that's expensive. Of course, they see what I drive and they're like, "Oh, he just wants my money." No, I just want you to know the truth. I got Mr. Trahan now. He'll talk to anybody with an RV. He's 80-something years old and he got his whole RV coated. And he said, never again will he not have anything not coated. He took the wife's and had hers coated 2 months ago because he's like, that's it. Everything needs to be coated now. It makes my life easy because he'd rather clean it himself. Can you imagine you're 80-something years old trying to scrub on an RV?
Oh, plus you get that good UV protection and overall protection.
Yeah, not him. It's an automotive top coat. So I can put the same Ceramic Pro on that. I don't really like the marine and the stuff like that because I did a couple boats and it didn't come out the way that I want. Maybe it was something that I did. I'm not that experienced with boats. I wasn't happy. But I was also told, Tim, it's not going to come out like a car. I was like, well, I don't want to fucking do a boat then. I need it to look like the fucking car.
Right.
Or I'm not going to take pride in it. Don't take pride in it. Take the money. I was like, nope, sorry. That's not how I operate.
Exactly. That's why we keep coming back. That's why we drive an hour and a half out here and spend a night in a hotel.
Well, I greatly appreciate it because, I mean, not only do I get to bullshit with you every once in a while and you get to just tell me what's going on with all you guys still out there. It's just, it just shows that I'm doing my job.
Yep.
I'm doing it. It's doing the job that I said it would do. And yeah. So.
Yep. And everybody keeps saying, man, I just cannot believe that truck's that old because it looked just so new.
Yeah.
And same with hers. I can pull it out of the garage and not even have to use the spray bottle of wax. Just use long microfiber towel.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Wipe it all down. It still looks great.
Yeah. See, I mean, yeah, the potential is there. Hopefully everything will go back to normal next year, I hope. I mean, I'm not too worried about my quality of work. I mean, I got David now, so he'll be doing stuff too, but I need the COVID apocalypse to end.
Got Bonnie so much on the details of her vehicle now. She even has this little dust broom. So when she's at the stoplights, she's sitting there going, dusting the dashboard. I'm like, people must be looking at you like you're crazy. She goes, people get too close to my car, I give them the eyes.
But it's amazing when something's done right and you're given something that you've never even really experienced before and it actually works, changes your whole outlook on what you're going to do. Mm-hmm. It really does. You become a little bit more appreciative of the vehicle. Doesn't matter what kind of fucking vehicle it is. It's worth it, in my opinion. Yeah. I mean, if I still drove that little Hyundai, I would have coated that little bastard too. I would. I mean,
well, my truck being almost 6 years old, I mean, still go to Walmart, I'm parking way out.
Right.
Yeah, too many disrespectful little shits that'll just bang. They don't care. They don't think of it.
And then they'll be like, "Oh, this big truck's in my way." Fucker, what do you mean it's in your way? It's in the parking spot. Go around. But another thing too, though, is I think, and I still say this is true. Most times when people, like, let's just say you want to sell your vehicle. Mm-hmm. If you park that thing on the side of the road, you probably sell it in a week.
Oh, there's no doubt. It's an eye catcher.
Because they look at it and the way you keep up with your interior and the way it looks on the outside, they wouldn't even question. You could probably change the motor in it and they'd never know. You could probably put a 4-cylinder in it and they'd never open the hood because they think that there's nothing wrong with this truck.
That reminded me of something. I sold one of my gas generator after we had our Generac installed. Mm-hmm. And when the guy
you got one of them little 4-cylinder things on the side of the house?
That's a natural gas Generac generator.
Yeah, well, that name strikes a bell because my mom's got a Generac, but it's a 4-cylinder Nissan motor in it.
No, it's not like that.
Damn. But it's propane, though. It's a propane one.
So I was selling my portable generator, and the guy wanted one for his monograph float. I told him, I said, $200. It's fairly new. Mm-hmm. Used one season. When they were backing in, he told his son, he goes, "Son, look how well he keeps up with his truck. You're going to get a deal on this generator." So the appearance of the truck made him automatically know that if you take care of his truck that well, his other machinery
then I ain't got nothing to worry about this. Yeah.
And he looked at it and he was handing me the money before they even put it in the back of the truck.
No haggling, no nothing.
And then he had to sit there and ask me about it. "How do you do that? What do you use?" I said, "I don't use anything."
You could just demonstrate with the stuff I gave you. You just go, just.
So luckily the way that the sun was, it was on a shaded part. And he had to touch it. And I'm like, "All right, now thank you for the fingerprints." And I just wiped it right off. And he goes, "Do you mind if I just put the back of my hand?" He tried it. That's amazing.
I mean, it sucks. You come out $2,000 up front. If you can't do it, then I understand it. I know I wouldn't be able to do it right now. But I mean, if you can afford to do it and you care about your vehicle, I don't think there's anything you can do that's better than that.
It impresses people for sure.
I mean, can't say it enough. You just look at it. That's all you need to do. Just look at it. It looks wet.
Yeah.
That's what David said. He goes, "It just looks like I need to dry it off."
Just keep your fingers off it.
Trace, did you put fingerprints on the outside of that thing? Frank's going to go on that side. Fucking Trace.
I was worried about stepping up on the...
You did, though. You did. It's okay. Just wipe it when you get home, Frank.
The plastic piece on the side rail is starting to crack. Just
where at? On the passenger side?
Driver's side, but I think it was already started before I bought the truck. But
yeah. Oh, so I did something new with your plastics, too, because... There's nothing that, as far as just bare coating by itself. So I did something different. You just let me know how it goes. And then I'll explain to you what I did. It's nothing harmful.
Wasn't WD-40, huh?
Fuck no. I don't even own any WD-40. Shit, when David needed to spray his springs because they were squeaking, I was like, I ain't got shit for that. You can pour some motor oil on it or something. But he finally got everything greased yesterday. But yeah, I don't even have WD-40 for that. So, but no, what it is it's a okay. So the stuff that I put on the inside, well, never did the inside of your truck though. So Poor Boys has this stuff called leather stuff. So they came out with a reformulated version of its trim restorer. So I used the trim restorer and then I put top coat on top of that. I would like to know how long that lasts because I put the trim restorer on first. Like I did your running boards first before I even cleaned the rest of it, because I wanted to get that on there and I wanted it to dry before I left for the day, so that I could put the top coat on top of it and then let it all sit overnight. So just tell me how it goes. I mean, you'll monitor it. You'll be washing it and stuff like that. It may stay black for a little while. It may not. It may bead for a while. It may not. I think it's going to be better than putting just top coat on it, because that just, on a plastic, it'll wear off in probably about 4 months. It'll be completely gone. But for the most part, everything on your truck is fucking excellent.
Cool.
I mean, if I had money and you said I'm selling it, I'd be like, I got a new truck. Dead serious. Because I mean, it's well taken care of and you got low mileage on it. The
interior still looks the same as when I brought it to you the first time, I believe, because I've only used it for like a daily runner here and there.
Yeah.
6 years, 24,000 miles I put on it.
But no matter what, though, it sits outside all the time. That's the thing. It sees the abuse of nature.
Yep.
So it's not like, yeah, you don't go mudding and all other stuff, but just like the wife that would go to work every day, your truck's seeing that same type of abuse, even though it's not on the road. Because something that sits on it for 5 or 6 weeks could do more damage than, oh, it got on there and I washed it off at the car wash real quick. Might just get the same amount of abuse because they're going to go through the tunnel car wash anyway. And it's going to beat the shit out of it. So,
well, to protect the interior, I got the WeatherTech form-fitting blinders. Is that right? For the windows. It's got that mirrored reflection on it, so I put that in the windshield on the inside.
Oh, you're talking about to protect the dash.
Yeah.
That's what you're talking about. Oh, okay. Oh, I was like, what the fuck is he talking about?
It may not have came out.
I was like, I didn't see any reflective stuff on his windows. I was like, wait a minute. Must have missed something.
It's under the seat, and then each window has its own pre-cut to fit the windows.
Oh, okay. So that's just to kind of keep the that's okay. You're not the only person that hit that. I think Simon hit it. I think Kelvin hit it. I mean,
the wave might have looked like a shot point there.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Just a little spike. Yeah. But so yeah, you're just talking about keeping things from cracking on the inside.
Yeah, to be able to protect the inside from the UV.
Yeah.
Keep that leather.
But you could also use that poor boy's leather stuff as well. It's not greasy. It's not oily. It shouldn't be.
I got the poor boy's tire trim that you told me about.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been using that.
Mm-hmm.
That stuff's got quite a bit of. A little tough to wash off.
Yeah. I don't know what they put in it, but I do like poor boy stuff because of the whole fact that it doesn't fling all over the place. It's not, and then the interior stuff's not greasy and nasty. That's why I like it. I mean, most people wouldn't even say what they use, but I'd promote them. Sure, they're good enough products. I've been using them since 14. So, and that was just doing regular detail stuff before I started doing all the coating stuff. Now this is the first time I'm actually gonna use like a trim restorer, because they had a shitty one before.
Mm-hmm.
They reformulated it now and it's out, and I was like, okay, I'll let it dry because it's supposed to dry within 3 hours. And then I was like, okay, if it's fully dry, I'm gonna put the coating on it and we're gonna see.
Okay. Cool.
But yeah, Frank, I appreciate you coming, having this little chat.
Good time being here.
Oh yeah, and goodbye everybody.